What's going on, guys? It's me, the Real Mossy, and it's time to get your guns up. This time we're going to be talking about the top 5 carbines, or carbines, however you want to pronounce it. In this series, I rank the top 5 guns in each class in the core game, so I don't cover the guns in the DLC. Those will be covered in a special episode. I'll give you some major stats and a small review of the gun as well, so you know what to expect and how the gun handles. This ranking is oriented more towards beginners, so I'll weigh the ease of use of the gun more heavily. Alright, before we start, I'd like to thank the damn Hobo lover for providing the gameplay. He's playing Team Deathmatch on Sand Crossing using the G36C. Hobo has a startup channel with a lot of quick, fun clips, so please make sure to check him out and show your support. The link to his channel is on screen right now, and another link will be in the description. Alright, so let's get started. The carbines are available in the engineer kit, by the way. Okay, so coming in at number 5, we have the Aks-74u. It's available by default for the Russian side. If you want to unlock it for the US side, you'll need a total of 145,000 engineer kit experience points. This gun isn't as popular as its US counterpart, the M4A1, but it's a decent gun for beginners. In fact, all of the carbines are well suited for beginners because they are so easy to handle relative to the rest of the guns in the game. The Aks-74u fires at 650 RPM, which is on the slow end compared to the rest of the carbines. It does a max damage of 25 and a minimum damage of 14.3 with a drop-off range of 50 meters, which is the generic damage distribution for carbines. Only 2 carbines deviate from this distribution. The Aks-74u has a mag size of 31, so 30 in the mag and 1 in the chamber. It has a starting ammo capacity of 155 rounds and a max ammo capacity of 248 rounds when you use the ammo specialization. This is plenty of ammo, especially for a carbine. Let's go to the reload times. Most guns in Battlefield 3 have 2 reload times, one when the gun's completely empty and another shorter reload time when the gun has at least 1 round remaining. Alright, so the Aks-74u's reload time with at least 1 round remaining is 1.9 seconds, which is actually pretty fast. It's the second fastest out of all carbines, but its empty reload time is on the slow side at a full 3 seconds. Now, I know I always tell you guys this, but here it is again: reload before you're completely empty. Most of the time when I'm on the engineer kit, I'm either in a tank or a chopper, so I don't really blow through too much ammo with my carbines. I like to use the explosive specialization when I'm on the engineer kit instead of the ammo specialization. Alright, so let's talk about how you would use the Aks-74u. It's a decent gun for beginners, but it does have its shortcomings. Even though it's one of the first guns available, it's actually not one of the easiest carbines to use. Compared to the other carbines, the Aks-74u has noticeable recoil. It kicks up and to the right. This might be difficult for beginners to control. And honestly, it's not worth the trouble of trying to handle this gun's recoil, especially since it has very mediocre stats. So the best thing to do with this gun is to use it until you unlock the next one. Let's move on to number 4. At number 4, we have the most powerful carbine in the game in terms of damage distribution, the SCAR-H. You need a total of 14,000 experience points to unlock the SCAR-H. It's a pretty early unlock, but if you're a beginner, you'll need some skill to use it effectively. I'll tell you why in a bit, but first the stats. Like I said before, the SCAR-H does the most amount of damage out of any carbine, with a max damage of 30 and a minimum damage of 20 at a drop-off range of 50 meters. You'll notice that the SCAR-H's minimum damage is only 5 points lower than most of the other carbines' maximum damage. This is a very good thing, but it's balanced out by 2 factors. One, the SCAR-H has the second lowest RPM of any automatic weapon in the game at a very sluggish 600 RPM. And second, it has the smallest mag size of any carbine at 21 rounds, 20 in the mag and 1 in the chamber, which is 10 rounds less than most other carbines. You get a total of 126 rounds of starting ammo and 189 rounds of max ammo with ammo specialization. The reload times are pretty average, 2.1 seconds when not empty and 2.75 seconds when empty. This is average for carbines with 31 rounds, but it might be a bit slow for the SCAR-H since it only has 21 rounds. This is the biggest detriment of this gun, and the reason it may not be the best choice for beginners. That and the fact that the SCAR has the heaviest vertical recoil of any carbine. Its horizontal recoil is even, such that it has no preference to drift left or right. All it does is kick up. On top of that, the SCAR-H has the largest hipfire spread of any carbine. so when you hip fire, the bullets won't be as tight. All of these factors make the SCAR H a better choice for a slightly more advanced player. I mean, it's still a carbine, so it's not as difficult to use as an LMG or anything, but it's just that there are other carbines which are easier to use and have larger clips for beginners. If you're advanced, on the other hand, you can do certain things to accommodate for the shortcomings, mainly burst firing to control the kick and save ammo, and reloading at the right times. You can also use either the flash suppressor or the suppressor to reduce the vertical kick of the gun. I'll go into more detail with the attachments in a special attachment only video, but now let's move on to number 3. Coming in at number 3 is the A91. This is one of the most well-rounded and easiest guns to use in the game, but it does have one little flaw. Otherwise it'd be higher in the rankings, but as always, let's start off with the stats. You need a total of 58,000 experience points to unlock the A91. It fires at a very fast 800 RPM and does a max damage of 25 and a minimum damage of 14.3 at a drop-off range of 50 meters, which is the same as every carbine except the SCAR H. The mag size is 30 rounds with one in the chamber. You get a total of 155 rounds of starting ammo and 248 rounds of max ammo with the ammo specialization. Let's move on to the reload times, and this is the killer. This is the reason the A91 isn't higher on the list. It has one of the slowest reload times of any carbine. Its reload time with at least one round in the chamber is 2.62 seconds, which is a long time, especially since most of the rest of the carbines reload in less than 2 seconds. This is a big deal since carbines excel at close to mid-range combat, where you will need to reload pretty quickly. The A91's empty reload time is even slower at 3.30 seconds, which is the slowest out of any carbine. Other than that, this gun is actually very good for beginners. It has very manageable recoil. Well, the recoil is barely noticeable. The horizontal recoil is even, meaning that it doesn't prefer to drift to the left or right. And its vertical recoil is amongst the lowest of any gun in the game. It also has the lowest hip fire spread of any carbine, making it ideal for beginners who might resort to spraying when caught off guard at close range. So overall, the high fire rate, good clip size, negligible recoil, and low hip fire spread make this gun very user friendly. Just make sure to find some cover when reloading because you don't want to get caught with your pants down. Alright, coming in at number 2 is the very popular M4, not the M4A1. There's a difference that makes the M4 better than the M4A1. I'll tell you what that is, but first the stats. You need a total of 40,000 engineer kit experience points to unlock the M4. It fires at 800 RPM, which is on the high end, and does 25 max and 14.3 minimum damage with a drop-off range of 50 meters. It has a mag size of 31, starting ammo of 155 rounds, and a max ammo of 248 rounds with the ammo specialization. So up until now, the M4 is pretty similar to the A91. Let's move on to the reload time. And this is why the M4 is higher on the rank than the A91. Whereas the A91 has the slowest reload time, the M4 has the fastest out of any carbine. Its reload time with at least one round remaining is 1.85 seconds, and its empty reload time is 2.48 seconds. Alright, so remember when I said there's a difference that makes the M4 better than the M4A1? Well, the difference isn't in the stats I just went over, because the M4 and the M4A1 are identical in damage, RPM, mag size, and reload times. The difference is in the handling. The M4 handles much better than the M4A1. The M4's recoil distribution, although very similar to the M4A1, is slightly easier to handle. Both guns drift up and to the right, but the M4's recoil is slightly lower. But that's not the biggest difference between the two. The reason you should choose the M4 over the M4A1 is because of its low aim down sight spread. The M4A1's ADS spread is double that of the M4. This means that when you aim down sight and fire, the spread of the bullets will be twice as large with the M4A1 as they are with the M4. So basically, more of the M4's bullets will end up where you point the gun, and they'll have a tighter grouping on the target, allowing you to kill faster. In fact, the M4 has the lowest aim down sight spread of any carbine in the game. This is especially useful at mid to long ranges when the bullets tend to spread more. Alright, let's move on to what you've been waiting for. The best carbine available in the core game, the G36C. This gun takes the best aspects of both the A91 and the M4 and brings them together in one. You need a total of 110,000 engineer kit experience points to unlock it. It fires at 750 RPM, which is slightly better than average, and it does the same amount of damage as the last two guns, so 25 max and 14.3 minimum with a 50 meter drop off range. It also has a mag size of 31 rounds, starting ammo of 155 rounds, and max ammo of 248 rounds. It has the second fastest reload time with at least one round left at 1.90 seconds, and its empty reload time is 2.85 seconds, which is pretty average. You'll notice that the empty reload time is almost a full second slower. That's a big difference. So again guys, make sure to reload before you're completely empty. This has to be one of the most balanced and versatile guns in the game. It does just as well in close quarters as it does at mid-range. It has very low recoil, its recoil distribution is almost perfectly even. Its horizontal recoil is even, so no preference for left or right, and its vertical recoil is very low, slightly lower than its horizontal recoil, making it extremely easy to handle, especially for beginners. If you add the suppressor to this gun, you'll probably never have to burst fire while aiming down sight. That's how easy it is to use. It has very good hip-fire accuracy too, as do all of the carbines. Its hip-fire accuracy isn't as tight as the A91, but it's just off by a very small margin. So if you're ever on the engineer kit, make sure to try out the G36C. It's versatile, extremely easy to use, and a great choice for beginners. Well, that's it guys, here's a quote of the week. Thanks for watching. If you missed the last two episodes of Guns Up, they're on screen right now. Click them and check them out. If you like the commentary, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. If you like the gameplay, check out HOBO and show him some support. Thanks again guys, I'm the Real Mossy. Tell your friends about me.